am going to do some of the questions from the worksheets that some of you have asked. Double check on your own and make sure that you are solving this way. Some of you had magic answers, so I didn't comment on those, but take a look because you know if you did or not for some of these. So number 7 on this is the page that says multiplying a polynomial by a monomial, and it has 7.2 at the top. I would look at the bottom, it's page 7. Okay, so find the area of the rectangular figure, and you can see they've already helped us out with a dotted line. So we could find the area of region 1 and the area of region 2 and add them together. So area of region 1 plus region 2 will give us our total area. Region 1 is a rectangle, so base times height, plus region 2 is a rectangle, base times height, equals, and region 1, a times b, and base of region 2, it doesn't give us directly, but we know this much is a, which should be here. This much is a, which would be here, and this much is a. So total we would have 3a across the bottom. So 3a times a height of a. And now I can multiply those together. So ab plus 3a squared. Remember, you're doing number times number, invisible 1, and letter times letter. Number 9. Now I did letter A part yesterday on the email, so I'm going to do D for you, and then I want you to do B. You are also doing C as the email challenge, so I'll do D. You pause the video, try B. I will keep going and do B, and you check and see if it's the same. So here we go with D. 9D. And do this one again if this didn't work out perfect for you. So 3a bracket 2a minus 5 minus 2a bracket 3a plus 5, end of bracket, where a is 3, b is 2, and c is 4. Remember, these are very similar to the verify, where you rewrite the equation, which we have already done. Then you replace the variable with the number that it is, and when you replace, your replacement always comes in brackets. And then rewrite, replace, redo for verify, but we haven't done it yet, so we'll just do the question. It tells you do it in 2 different ways. Evaluate before, then after multiplying. So before multiplying, we're going to have, and now we just substitute directly. So 3a is 3, and I'm going to put big brackets around this guy. 2 times a is 3 minus 5 minus 2 times a is 3 times 3 times 3 plus 5. A lot of 3's going on in there. Okay, remember we are following BEDMAS. So brackets first, we're looking inside the brackets to simplify. And we can multiply this outside as well at the same time. So that'll give us 9. And then this will be 6. Take away 5, end of bracket, take away 6 times 9 plus 5 equals, and now you don't have to change to a big bracket, and you can go back and forth. I just used a big bracket just so in my mind I would make sure I kept these guys together instead of somehow thinking that it went with that. So your choice. So 9 times, this will be 1, minus 6 times 14, and that'll give me 9 minus whatever 6 times 14 is on my little calculator, 84. So 9 take away 84 is negative 75, which is what we're supposed to get. Hooray. After we're going to multiply the 3a into the brackets to start with. So I'm going to just rewrite this. 3a times 2a minus 5 minus 2a times 3a plus 5. So that 3a times to both, and then same with the negative 2a. Have to keep that sign with it. So number times number is 6. A times a is a squared. 3 times negative 5, so negative 15. A times, there's nothing else there, so just a. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. A squared. Negative 10a. And now I'm going to combine like terms before I simplify. Oh, how convenient. Actually, not before I simplify. Before I substitute, because this is simplifying. Notice those cancel. And now I've got negative 25a. Wow, that's nicer. Negative 25 and substitute in the 3. And there we go. Equals negative 75. Yay. Most of the time, it's easier to simplify and then substitute. That's what they're wanting to show you here. So we'll do the B part now, and you will send me the C part, and then I will send you the solution later. So pause the video, try the B part, and then come back on and watch. So B is negative B bracket negative B to the 5 plus 7b cubed minus 5. And before equals negative, b is 2. So notice I'm replacing only the b. Negative stays out front. And again, I'm going to use a big bracket. Negative, b is 2 to the 5 stays, plus 7. B is 2 to the 3 stays, take away 5 at the end. And now I solve negative 2, and then in brackets, this will be negative 32 plus 7 times 8 minus 5 equals negative 2 times, and then I can do this on my calculator. I know this is going to be 56, so I could write that and then put everything in there. So negative 2 times negative 32 plus 56, take away 5 is 19, equals negative 38. Okay, after, here's the nice thing. These are double check for each other because obviously, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully, okay, hopefully that wasn't too low. Now you can anyways. These are nice double check for each other because they must equal the same thing even though they are done a different way first. Okay, so after, let's multiply this in. So we're going to get, this is invisible, negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 1 is just 1, which we don't need to write. B to the 6, because bases are the same, add the exponents, bases are the same, add the exponents, bases are the same, and keep it on base. When bases are the same, add the exponents. Oh, you can sing that for dinner tonight. Okay, here we go. Negative 7, b to the 4, plus 5b, because this is really a b to the 0. B to the 0 we know is 1. 1 times negative 5 would just be negative 5. So we don't ever write that in, but if we need to think about that in our mind so that we get that b to the invisible 1, we can. Okay, so after, and now I'm looking, can I combine any of these terms? And no, they are not like terms. They have the letter b, they have the same variable, but they don't have the same degree. So now I substitute. B is 2. 2 to the 6 minus 7 times 2 to the 4 plus 5 times 2 equals 2 to the 6 is 64 minus 7 times 2 to the 4 is 16 plus 10. And I'm going to put this on my calculator. 64 minus 7 times 16 plus 10 equals, whew, negative 38, just like it's supposed to. Okay, good for that one. Send me your C on that question. Now we are going to go to, this is page 10. So at the top, it is actually your page 4 that you got, the 7.3 dividing a polynomial by a monomial. And I'm just going to quickly do questions 5, 6, and 7 for people who wanted these. Find the width. So area here, they've given us. Area, remember, we know is length times width. They want the width. If I divided by length, then my equation would be, where am I going to write that? I'll just write it here. W is going to equal this, because those will cancel. Area over length. So that's what I'm going to do. Find the width. So width is going to equal area, which is 2d squared minus 4d over the length, 2d. Remember, in these, we made sure we divided each term by the denominator. So 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1. D squared divided by D will be just D. And negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. D divided by D is just 1. So we won't write that. And there we go. B part. Same process. Let's do that. Maybe right here. So width is going to be 12x squared y plus 6x squared divided by 3x. And again, I'm thinking this 3x has to go into both parts. And why that is really is this was two fractions that had a common denominator. So 3x and 3x. So if we do first get a common denominator, add the numerator, so we did that, keep the denominator, and we would have just had that 1, right? But we can undo that, which is really what's happening in our mind. And now 4x squared divided by x is x, y stays, plus 6 divided by 3 is 2, x squared divided by x is x. Okay, number 6. This will be the similar process as 5. So we're thinking in all of these, we are dividing into that fraction, or we're splitting it apart into two fractions and then simplifying really is what's happening in this. And we only did D part, and that was because I want you to see in this part, see here how we don't end up with that canceling out. That number, the 5, is still going to be on the bottom. And if we look at the answer for 6D, what has happened here to reduce this like it is if we look at this one, I could have written, I would have had here divided by the 3x, and then I could have thought divide each term by the same thing. So divide each term by 3. So if I divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, and that's a little different than we've done because all the time, remember, we could only cancel if we had a multiply here. We did one on the top and one on the bottom. Here's what happens when you don't have a multiply. You have to divide every single term by whatever you're dividing by. So if I did that with the x, divide by x, divide by x, divide by x, then I'm left with 4xy plus 2x over just 1, which is what I got here. So let's do that on this example. If I look, what can I divide all of these numbers by? Nothing, because I don't have anything there at all, right? But I could divide the letters, maybe, let's look. I could divide by A, divide by A, divide by A, divide by A, yes. So that's what I'm going to do. Divide by A, divide by A, divide by A, divide by A. That leaves me with 24A minus 20B plus A all over -5. Okay, number 7, we did the whole thing. And 7 is interesting because if you take a look, you do have two things that are times together. This is a big thing, right? But it is one group. So like when we had, if this was 6, that's not 6, 6x, and this was a heart, over 3x, I could divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by x, divide by x, and I would just be left with 2 heart. So same idea. I have this big something. I'm not going to worry about it because I realize if I'm dividing 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, sorry, if I'm multiplying, then I can cancel something on the top, something on the bottom. So I could divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by x, divide by x. I can't divide this x because it's not really x, right? It's all of this stuff together. It's one group, like a heart. So if that helps, maybe make it into, there we go, there's the heart. Ta-da! Okay, and now let's see what we're left with. 2, the heart, so 5x plus 2 over 1. And if we look, did they expand that or not? And they did, so they kept going. And they did multiply that in, so 10x plus 4. Okay, B part, let's look. So B, I can see this is one big group of stuff. So it's times together, so it's like I have -2n heart over 2. And then I can divide by 2, divide by 2. Keep that negative. And I'll have -n heart. Well, let's do that then. Divide by 2, divide by 2 gives me -1n, and heart is that stuff, 5n squared minus n plus 3. Wow, and that's squishy on your paper. Okay, pause. Try C and D. See how you feel about that. And then start again and watch me. Okay, C part, I'm going to notice these are all times together. So these are identical. Lots of you saw that, and I can cancel that. That's perfect. Those will divide by each other and give us 1 there. Now here's the trick on this one. I can't get rid of this because they're separated with the negative sign. They are not multiplied together. So I need to come back and do like in 6, divide each term by the same thing all the way around and see if I can reduce that way. So I could divide everything by 2. So if I divide this by 2, I'm going to get 1r squared minus divide by 2 is going to give me 2r over divide by 2 is going to give me negative 2r. And now I could divide by r, divide by r, divide by r. So divide by r here is going to give me r minus 2 over divide by r is going to give me negative 2. Hooray! Okay, D part, last one. These, I could put these together and then cancel, but if you remember from on the board, we could cancel a ton of things, and let's do that already. So if I divide this by 3, I'm going to have negative 1, divide by 3, 1. That's convenient because it's something that's multiplied together. Okay, now I'm looking. Is there a y that I can cancel? Not this guy because this is attached to that 6. That's like a heart. So anytime they have a plus or a minus, they are a group, a little heart. Okay, I can divide by y here though. Divide by y, divide by y. And now let's see what I have left. I've got 2 and the heart stuff, y minus 6 over negative 1. Well, 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. And remember, I can move this top or bottom. So same idea, if I just move it to the top, then I've got positive 1 on the bottom. And now probably, yeah, they moved this, they multiplied this 2 in. So negative 2 times y is negative 2y. Negative 2 times negative 6 is plus 12. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Redo any of those that you did not get the first time.